2017, and the race between man and machine begins again. This season, it came down to the two most successful drivers of their generation, Sebastian Vettel and Lewis Hamilton.
Whoa, stop right there, Benedict Cumberbatch. Okay, sure, the real-life season was very much between Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel, but if you add in good old reverse starting grids, I can assure you the championship fight opens up to more than just those two. So then guys, it is PSL here, and today I am starting a brand new 3-part series on F1 2017. It's on the championships mode, and whilst I do like a lot of the championships in this game, this one is definitely one of the better ones. Now I know other F1 YouTubers in the past have covered championships which have had reverse starting grids, but as to not be outdone at my own game, this particular championship, in my opinion, is the best one which has reverse starting grids, because you have a normal qualifying session, a normal race, and then a decent length reverse grid race. So without further ado, let's head on into the championship. So here is how this specific championship works. Firstly, there is a qualifying session in which you do get championship points based on where you qualify. It's slightly different to the normal point system, and you'll see how so in just a bit. Following the qualifying session, there's a 50% race based off the qualifying results, and it follows the usual 25, 18, 15, etc. point system. Then finally, there is a 25% distance race in which the starting grid is a reverse of the championship standings. Now, I haven't even said which car I'll be driving yet, so I'll clear that up. The car I'll be driving in this championship is the Toro Rosso. The reason is because I wanted to drive for a team which I haven't really covered on this channel before. So that really left me with the choice of either Toro Rosso or Red Bull, and since this sort of championship is most interesting if you're driving a midfield car, I went with Toro Rosso. In these videos I'll be skipping over qualifying and the normal 50% race, partly because they are the least interesting sessions as far as I'm concerned, but also on this occasion, the 50% race here around Abu Dhabi was genuinely one of the most boring races I've ever done on a PS4 F1 game. But just before I get into that, here are the qualifying results, and as you can see, Lewis Hamilton took pole position, so scored 20 points under this qualifying specific point system. Vettel in second got 18 points, Bottas in third got 16, and it's a pretty standard affair, down to Kevin Magnussen, who did really well to qualify in 9th. I took 10th, and so I scored 6 points, which is one more than my teammate Kvyat, who qualified just one place behind me. In qualifying, the top 15 all scored points, which means that before the first race has even begun, Julian Palmer has already got a point to his name, and Fernando Alonso from McLaren has got 2. After that, you move on to the standard 50% distance race, which, as I've already said, was genuinely one of the most boring long distance races I've done on an F1 game for some time. Honestly, the only noteworthy moment was that Felipe Massa spun around Nico Hülkenberg going around the first corner on about the 5th lap, and I wish I had footage of it because it was the only highlight of the race, and it explains why Hülkenberg finished all the way down in 18th. So at the end of that race, with one interesting moment, Sebastian Vettel took the victory, and with it the full 25 points, after Lewis Hamilton lost out despite having started on pole position. Romain Grosjean did extremely well that race. Certainly I couldn't keep up with him once he overtook me. Danny Kvyat beat me to 7th on the superior one-stop strategy. I finished in 8th, beating Lance Stroll, who led a massive train that stretched all the way down to 16th place. Caught up in Stroll's train were the likes of Massa, Magnussen, Ocon, and most surprisingly Max Verstappen, who did a horrendous 3-stop strategy. Long the short of it, the fewer stops you did that race, the higher up the order you finished. So after one qualifying session and one dull 50% race, the current championship standings see Sebastian Vettel at the top, with Lewis Hamilton only a few points back. Then there's a bit of a gap to Raikkonen, Bottas and Ricciardo, and then it's the other 3 Red Bull employed drivers of Verstappen, Kvyat and myself, all within 2 points of each other. In fact, it's very close from 6th downwards, with drivers separated by just a handful of points. Down at the bottom there's Van Dorn and both Sauber drivers who don't yet being the key word here, have any points to their name. Now take a look at these championship standings. Reverse it, and you've got the starting grid for this 25% race around the Yas Marina circuit. So then, here we are on the starting grid, and as you can see, both Saubers are starting on the front row. Both McLarens have locked out the second row. And I've done so many reverse grid races on this channel on many different games. But even now, I still don't get used to the sight of seeing the slow cars at the front and the quick cars at the back. Lewis Hamilton starting in 19th, Sebastian Vettel starting in stone dead last. That's a very strange sight. The Red Bulls are towards the back. I'm starting towards the back in the Toro Rosso. The midfield cars, this is an opportunity for them because it's just the slow guys at the front. But you've also got the very quick guys at the back. They'll be charging their way through the field. Trust me, this is a race you do not want to miss out on. 25% race, not much then in terms of strategy. One stop, ultra soft, super soft. Pretty standard. I think everybody will be adopting that strategy. So the formation lap is about to start. So let's scope out the field. So I'm starting in 13th place. Perez is just ahead of me. You've got Grosjean there, Hulkenberg there. Hulkenberg spun around by Massa, massively screwed over in the first race. Kvyat is starting just behind me. Hopefully he doesn't get the jump on me, but well, we'll have to wait and see. But I've got a lot of quick guys ahead of me. I've got, without a shadow of a doubt, a lot of quick guys behind me. So this is going to be a very exciting race, as the first reverse grid race in this GP Endurance League on F1 2017 is underway. And we've got the jump on Sergio Perez. Yes, we have up into 12th place. Hulkenberg has not got off to a brilliant start, but Grosjean has made up a place on Hulkenberg. He's now side by side with Massa. I'm still in 12th place. Still cannot find a way past Hulkenberg. Going around a long left, long right-hander. Hulkenberg just so slow, but cannot find a way past. But now we've got the first real braking point. Should be able to get past someone, and I think I've got past Hulkenberg. We're still side by side now. We're going around this hairpin. This is a prime overtaking opportunity just before another overtaking opportunity. This massive back straight, a DRS straight, but of course no DRS on this opening lap. Got past Hulkenberg up into 11th place, but still that is not a points position. Look at that. Both Saubers, then you got one McLaren, Julian Palmer, another McLaren. That's the top 5 in this race. Grosjean, I think he's going to make a move on Massa, and I think he just has, but they're still side by side. Massa's gone up in the curb, he's spun around. Massa has spun out, and there you go. That's Massa's race done. In a 25% race, you cannot make a mistake. There's no time, there's not enough laps to recover. So that is it, that is Massa out of it, especially in a reverse grid race. He's behind all the quick guys now. So let's take a look at the race start. Pascal Wehrlein starting pole position, but he didn't get off to the best of starts. No, well, the problem was that he was just on the outside, and Ericsson side by side. Yeah, Ericsson, he just had the inside line for the first 2 corners. Got up side by side, going around the first corner, got past going around the second. So Wehrlein has dropped to 2nd place. Marcus Ericsson in the Sauber is leading the Grand Prix. Sentences you never thought you'd hear me say on F1 2017. Now let's take a look at this. Felipe Massa, so pretty comfortable. I'll be honest, he was probably slightly surprised that a Haas passed him down the straight, bearing in mind Massa's in a Williams. But yeah, just got caught up on the curb, and that was it. Lost all grip, slight contact with Grosjean, but that was it. Just lost all traction, and I have to say, Massa, that is just karma, really, because Massa, I wish I had footage of it, but Massa spun around Hulkenberg in the first race. I know he did, because I was right up behind Massa and Hulkenberg when it happened. I was following those two. Round the first corner, Massa just tagged Hulkenberg, sent him round. And so yeah, that's karma for Massa, but as I said, starting, well, now he is in 20th place, way behind the rest of the field. That's it, race done, effectively. In a short race like this, reverse grid, no, there is no room for big mistakes like that. So we're on the 2nd lap. Still got Grosjean just ahead. Nico Hulkenberg is still just behind. You got Kevin Magnussen's just up ahead. Now the problem with this Toro Rosso is it is a Ferrari powered car. I mean, so is the Haas up ahead, but we've got Hulkenberg behind in a Renault powered car. But then you've also got Perez isn't too far behind. Ocon isn't too far ahead. They're Mercedes powered cars. Now normally in Codemasters F1 games I'd like to drive the Mercedes powered cars because you can easily overtake someone, and safety car is out, and Marcus Ericsson's retired. Okay, wow. I can tell you what, this is more exciting than the 50% race. I tell you what, in the 50% race, we had no retirements, no safety car. We had a virtual safety car. I never knew why, but look at this. Marcus Ericsson, from the lead of the race, his Ferrari engine gave up on him. Honestly, that is heartbreaking. Normally, if Marcus Ericsson retired, it wouldn't make a blind bit of difference to the race. But that is the race leader out. The end of the second lap, everybody is flooding into the pits. I had no intention of pitting. I was just going to wait, until lap 6 when I was due to come in. I saw everyone ahead of me come in and was like, right, come in, soft tyres. So, thankfully, the Toro Rosso pit crew, extremely quick reactions, and they have got the soft tyres ready. But look at that! Both Haas cars double stacking, they've blocked me in my pit box. Grosjean finally goes into his pit box, but still not moving. Gotta wait for all the cars behind, and still not getting out. Just about getting out ahead of that Mercedes there, Valtteri Bottas, but late call to come into the pits. Probably would have been better off not going in, to be honest. On the soft tyres, everyone else is on the super softs, so I think I've made a mistake there. But also, I've just lost a load of positions. Now, this is the guy who, he was the trendsetter. Jolyon Palmer in 3rd place. He's got past Fernando Alonso, and it was Palmer who called the shots. He was the guy who first went into the pits, and, well, everyone followed him. Alonso's in, everyone. Lance Stroll, everyone is in the pits. But Jolyon Palmer, he got away, I believe, fairly easily, despite being the first guy into the pits. You would imagine that he might have to be held up and wait for everyone else to go by, but thankfully it was a good pit stop by the Renault guys. Hulkenberg came in on the same lap, and it was just pit stop chaos, and I think that's because 14 cars all came in at the same time. But Palmer has come out, so Verline, Van Dorn, Verstappen, Kvyat, Raikkonen, those guys did not come into the pits. Everyone else did, and everyone else is out there now on these super softs, except for me. I did come into the pits, and I'm on the softs. I mean, the intention was always to go on the super softs, but pitting at the end of the second lap, I had no way of knowing that the super softs were going to make it to the end. I know the softs will, but now I've got the grip disadvantage. I don't actually have, the tyres to give me the performance, which is a shame considering I've lost a load of positions through that calamitous pit stop. But eventually the safety car came in, and Pascal Wehrlein is going to get the race back underway. So Pascal Wehrlein has inherited the lead from his teammate, and Pascal Wehrlein is leading the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. That is Stoffel Van Dorn in 2nd, Max Verstappen 3rd, Daniel Kvyat in 4th, Kimi Raikkonen in 5th. What a random order this is. It's brilliant though, I love it. Jolyon Palmer in 6th, the leader of those who have pitted. I'm down in 16th, but this is just not good, although if I'm going to get past people, I'm going to have to do it now. Down a straight, not particularly easy. Look, I mean, this is the thing, is I'm not used to not driving a Mercedes car. I normally have the power advantage, now I've got the power disadvantage, and it's not a nice feeling being stuck up behind the Mercedes runner, although Massa dropped back quite a bit from Perez, so something going on with Massa's car, just not as quick in a straight line as you would expect it to be. And there you go, that is an overtake on Massa, and I'm up to 15th place. Now, if you assume I pass those who haven't pitted yet, because they will eventually have to pit, that puts me in 10th place. Because, well, Stoffel Van Dorn setting the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. That says it all, of course. Because with slow guys at the front, there is a massive train, because Wehrlein is the pace setter. And, his pace... Well, I mean, look at the train. You can just see behind. If Wehrlein is leading the entire field, then everyone's just going to be stuck up behind him. It's not like in normal F1 where you have the quick guys at the front and then they pull away. But yeah, speaking of pulling away, Wehrlein was not able to pull away. Van Dorn passed Wehrlein on the straight, and so did Max Verstappen. Verstappen's not much of a surprise, that was inevitable, but Stoffel Van Dorn is leading the Grand Prix. That was an overtake on a straight by a McLaren. And we're seeing this on board from Verstappen, and there you go, it was quite simple from Van Dorn. He made the overtake way before Wehrlein, adventurous on the brakes there actually, nearly re-overtook Verstappen. But there you go, so the new race leader, we've had 3 different race leaders. First it was Ericsson, then it was Wehrlein, now it's Van Dorn. And Stoffel Van Dorn, here's the problem, because of course he hasn't pitted yet. Just a few laps later in a 25% race, he has to pit. And because he was the race leader, everyone else wasn't too far behind. Jolyon Palmer has taken the race lead. Esteban Ocon is in second. So coming into the pits when the safety car came out, that was the right strategy call. But I do fear that fitting on the super softs was the way to go, because I'm on the softs, and that's... yeah, I do feel like it's a bit of a mistake, but if Jolyon Palmer's leading the field, there is hope. So here's the race order. It's Palmer, from Ocon, from Stroll, from Fernando Alonso, he's still in 4th. Kevin Magnussen in 5th, Lewis Hamilton in 6th, Ricciardo, Vettel, Perez, myself in 10th. I'm ahead of Massa, Bottas, Grosjean. Bottas lost out a lot in the pits there, actually. I do feel sorry for him. Yeah, it's honestly madness. Lap 9. Here's the slight issue. I mean, I found it tricky to overtake people because I'm using the Ferrari engine in the Toro Rosso. But everyone else found it difficult to overtake because it's Yas Marina. And this circuit is built up a bit of a bad reputation in, well, I was going to say in recent years, in the circuit's entire history in F1, because it is difficult to overtake. And even in a reverse grid scenario like this, it's just a massive train. I've got DRS, but I've got a Mercedes engine car up ahead. Is Vettel then ahead of him? And, Valtteri Bottas, yeah. This is it. It's difficult to overtake, but I'll tell you what, with the lack of grip from the tyres, the lack of pace from the car, and, you know, it's a Mercedes car behind me. Well, now ahead of me. Valtteri Bottas has taken 10th place. That now demotes me out of the points positions. So it's not looking all that great, as far as I'm concerned, but this is a reverse grid race. This is a set of rules designed to give everyone an equal opportunity of winning. Hence why Jolyon Palmer is leading. Esteban Ocon, though, he's catching up down this straight. DRS, Mercedes power, Palmer going defensive. Actually, brilliant placement from Palmer, but Ocon, he still found some space, and he's going to spin around like Massa did. No, he's kept it pointing in a straight line, side by side, but Ocon, he's going to have the DRS, he's got the power, and I think there you go. Ocon is going to breeze past Palmer. So, Esteban Ocon is now leading the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Jolyon Palmer is in 2nd. Lance Stroll, I believe, is still in 3rd. In fact, there you go. There he is. I just saw him briefly there. So, overtakes are being made at the front. It's, yeah, I'll be honest, you would expect a few more overtakes. In fact, pretty much every overtake that has been made was made in the pits. But, I mean, I didn't expect a safety car. Who expected the safety car to come out on the 2nd lap? Who expected the race leader to retire on the 2nd lap? Who expected there to be this many race leaders? What are we on, lap 10? And Esteban Ocon's like the 5th different race leader. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Lance Stroll in 3rd place. And I don't know what's going on with his car, but, well, Lance Stroll led a massive train. In the first race, I was just ahead of it. Well, now I am firmly caught up in it. And Lance Stroll, in 3rd place, he's just got no speed. There must be something wrong, because that is Fernando Alonso overtaking Lance Stroll at the end of a straight. So, Lance Stroll, there must be some issue with the Mercedes engine, some power deployment, an electrical issue, possibly. But Lance Stroll, strangely slow. And I'll tell you what, this did reinvigorate the race, because as far as I was concerned, Bottas passed me and that was it, really, and I lost positions through the pits. But Lance Stroll, do not underestimate how slowly he was going. He was backing up everyone. So I've passed, well, Perez, Vettel, Bottas. This is the opportunity I was looking for. And, well, I tell you what, not a brilliant exit. Slight bit of contact there with Sebastian Vettel. Got DRS from Ricciardo, in fact actually probably from Vettel because of the DRS detection point. Side by side with Sebastian Vettel, this is not something you would see in normal circumstances. Vettel in a Ferrari and myself in the Toro Rosso battling for 8th place. This is just what you can expect from this championship. And Lance Stroll, look at him. There is a definite issue with his car because he has been getting progressively slower and slower over the past couple of laps. I mean, who's that? Magnussen, Hamilton, Ricciardo, now myself making a bit of contact there with Ricciardo. We've all got past Lance Stroll. Lance Stroll has fallen from 3rd to 8th in a matter of seconds. And this means that the new battle for 4th place is between Magnussen and Hamilton, and once Lance Stroll got out of the way, yeah, we did finally start to see some overtakes. Mercedes, again, another case of Mercedes power versus Ferrari power. Top team versus the midfield team. Hamilton breezed by, but let's not forget, Alonso passed Stroll a lap before Hamilton did. 1 lap, and Alonso's a speck in the distance. That is how much of a gap Alonso pulled on Lance Stroll and subsequently Lewis Hamilton in 1 lap. Honestly staggering, and of course with the quickfire nature of this championship, 25% race, it is done already, and Esteban Ocon is going to win the first race in this Endurance GP League. The reverse grid race, the second race, and there you go, he has won it. Jolyon Palmer has taken second, Fernando Alonso has taken third, just ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Look how much Lewis Hamilton caught up in a lap and a half. Hamilton caught up a lot, but give it another lap, another 2 laps, Hamilton would definitely have passed Fernando Alonso. And I'll tell you what, I think it is quite possible that I could have passed Kevin Magnussen, because Magnussen, now that he's been passed by Hamilton, he's coming under fire from Ricciardo. Myself, I'm actually coming into play. Here's the thing, is the super soft tyres everyone fitted really early, they're starting to wear now, and now the soft tyres are actually the ones to be on. If this race was another 5 laps long, the pace I would have had, I could have beaten Ricciardo and Magnussen easily, but as it stands in a 14-lap race, reverse grid race, I have finished in 7th place, just behind Ricciardo, just ahead of Sebastian Vettel. Completely, wow. Yeah, I mean, I love reverse grid races, hence why I do them on my channel all the time, but, well, no, to be fair, normally I never get the opportunity to do them on a Codemasters F1 game, which is always a shame, especially now the F1 games how they are. But Ocon, Esteban Ocon winning, Fernando Alonso in third, Jolyon Palmer in second. That is a random smattering of drivers on the podium. Now, we saw the podium at the end of the first race. It was just standard Vettel, Hamilton, Bottas, but look at this. How many people have seen this on the game? I bet you not many. Esteban Ocon taking the winner's trophy at Abu Dhabi. Look how happy he is. Jolyon Palmer elated with second, and Fernando Alonso back on the podium, and no one expected him to do it in a McLaren Honda, but there you go, he has. Fernando Alonso in third place. And there you go, but obviously the problem for them is now that they've scored a lot of points in the championship, they're actually going to be quite high up in the championship order. Now look, Ocon with 25 points, Palmer with 18, Alonso with 15. That's the thing, is now these guys, especially Alonso, who's a backmarker driver, well, he's driving for a backmarker team, he's now scored a lot of points, so he'll actually be fairly high up in the championship. Well, here's the thing, is this championship, because it combines qualifying, a normal race and a reverse grid race, the championship is, you can't really dissect it. Look, Lewis Hamilton is now leading the championship, having overtaken Sebastian Vettel, because Hamilton, well, he finished 4th in that reverse grid race. Vettel away down the order. Bottas in 3rd, Raikkonen in 4th, Esteban Ocon in 5th, then it's Ricciardo, Palmer, Magnussen, myself, Verstappen, Kvyat. It's honestly mad championship. But even despite the reverse grid race, Van Dorn, Ericsson and Verline all haven't scored points, and, well, it could have been so different if Ericsson hadn't retired, because, well, he would have still been in the race, and also, if he hadn't retired, the safety car would never have come out, and it would have given them an opportunity, because that did screw over Pascal Verline's chance of scoring any points. Same for Raikkonen and Verstappen, they were caught up, but they just should have come in the pits. But anyway, there is the Constructors' Championship standings. Fairly standard, but of course this is a strange championship, because it's not a reverse grid championship, it's a normal championship with a reverse grid element. I hope you guys did enjoy this episode. If you did, please leave a like, comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time at Silverstone, and it will be the same format, so be sure to check it out, because, well, I have no idea who's going to come out on top. I wouldn't have predicted Ocon. Well, who knows, I had no idea who to expect would win heading into this race. I have no idea who's going to win heading into the next race. So, yeah, we will all find out in the next episode. So be sure to check it out. And I'll see you guys then.